Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the VoleMaulder Gamecast.
Welcome to an episode about mammals. We're both mammals. Vole is a vole, and I am an otter.
From space, but you don't like space.
Well, I prefer the sea. We both have nipples, or mammaries, because we're mammals.
Yes, sometimes they explode with delight.
How do you titillate an ocelot?
Wait, I think I know this one. I don't know.
You oscillate its tits a lot.
Okay, yes.
So once I was at a bus station in Glasgow, and some drunk guy came and just told that to me, laughed by himself, and walked off.
This rang a bell.
Hey, mammals,
Yeah.
mammaries, ocelots, and tits.
Hey,
ocelots.
random people in Glasgow.
Very drunk, very, very drunk random people in Glasgow. He smelled so much.
As I said, hey, random people in Glasgow.
It's worse here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yep.
Anyway, we're here to talk about a thought that I've had about video games. Are you ready?
I'm bracing myself. Hit me.
So
I can take it.
I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent and I'll get to the thought. The tangent is that often I've noticed that when there are discussions about how to legitimize video games to people who wonder about this or challenge it, and I think occasionally we've had this conversation as well, is like, how do we present video games to a non-gamer who doesn't get it? And sometimes these discussions, they tend to focus on a couple of things, which one is that you can make a career out of it, mainly by being a pro gamer of some kind, that there's esports and all that kind of stuff, and that makes it legitimate. So it's not a waste of time for your kid to be playing video games, because if they really get really good, they may like go to uni and then get into an esports team and then make a career out of it and become a professional gamer athlete and make money and all that stuff. So we can probably agree on why this seems quite a limited perspective to have on something like this. In part because this is very rare. So it's like probably as rare as becoming an actual athlete that makes money out of it.
Could be more rare, I think.
Could be more rare, yes.
Because it's one sport. unless you consider every game a sport that you can play in the esports sphere.
Well,
so
there are a few genres, I suppose, where this is possible. You have racing games, you have fighting games, you have perhaps strategy games as well, where this happens. I'm not really familiar with the esports thing, but there are different genres.
Yeah.
So there's that side that I think is a little bit dumb to be making the argument. The other side is that like the whole legitimization through making money out of it. And there are ways in which there's hidden delegitimization of what this medium can offer, by a lot of people calling it a pastime, and how can you justify how you pass your time?
Yeah, I don't like that word exactly. Like, it's not saying that something is a pastime literally means like it's something that you pass your time with. It almost feels like a waste, something like it does not enrich you. And I think we've done a lot of work in the podcast to try and legitimize games, to make them feel a little bit more close to books or movies, to not be that dumb medium that people kind of like think of it as, you know? And I don't like also the word entertainment.
Yeah, the word entertainment is also limited in what this is. Like entertainment, recreation, all that stuff. Greek corner. I don't know what the jingle for that is.
Greek corner.
Okay, that one.
Maybe we can make a jingle one day.
Maybe. But yeah, there's, at least in Greek language, there's a differentiation that we have for this. We have the word psychagogia, which is literally exercise of the soul, to refer to something that can enrich your spirit.
Yeah, some art.
Which tends to be art, yeah.
Yeah, in ancient Greece, it was more for like text or theater or music. Like something that does not have monetary value, but like
That was the same fucking timing.
Okay, just to spoil it, we tried recording this before, and right when we're having this exact conversation back and forth, Bepis knocked the microphone, and he did exactly the same on the same conversation on this recording as well.
The exact same way as well.
Yeah. Now he's sitting right next to the microphone. Right. Okay. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that, like, we try to legitimize our games. We try to show that it's not just, poop scrolling or Angry Birds.
And how do we do that?
We try to engage with stories, but that's the thing. We both have focused on single player campaigns and stories and point A to point B kind of experiences, and we have not talked about multiplayer games much.
Yeah, which is the other common way I see people talk about legitimizing video games as something valuable, which is that they can connect people, they can give people meaningful experiences through building communities and building skills and creating, I suppose, shared worlds and narratives and stories. This can veer again into the legitimization through hustling or career enhancing, which is that this can have like transferable skills that you can use then in your career, which, yes, that is true. There's studies that support this, especially like running guilds and stuff like that in MMOs can definitely transfer into managing people in other situations. But again, I don't want to focus on that. I want to explore a bit the space where the meaningful online experience happens in a video game, and what does that mean? Because we've been mostly single players.
Okay, I think it's worth trying to explore a little bit why we have not really veered into online games before we go into the online games we actually delved into. So why don't you play online games much?
Now or historically, you mean?
Historically, like, why does that happen? Like, and I'm not talking about me and you playing something together, co-op or something like that. We're talking like online game. You go in to play online with randos,
Randos. Well, I will probably trace this back to the fact that I started playing video games on a console, and that's where most of my gaming happened while I was growing up. Consoles didn't have online connectivity until the PS2, and that was even limited. And the first Xbox, I guess. Also, at the time when I grew up, the internet wasn't as common in households. Like, we had dial-ups, and even that was quite late in my teenage years when my family got it. I think the combination of these two factors was formative in how I imagined my play to be. The other part that made it formative was that the multiplayer games that existed on consoles and ended up being exposed a lot to when my, peers were playing at the time, were all competitive. It was fighting games and sports games, basically.
Yeah.
And the occasional Mario Kart. And I didn't really like either. Like, I enjoyed Mario Kart, okay, but it seemed a little bit, not the kind of racing game that I was into. Like, I was into the Gran Turismo and Call of McRae Rally. I wanted something more grounded in reality. And Mario Kart wasn't that. I also, as a child, also had Mario repulsed me. I don't know why. It's like, I've said this before, but he's like a baby with a mustache. It's disturbing. Anyway, that aside, I also didn't like the whole, the power-ups could result in situations that felt really unfair to me.
Oh, you mean in Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like because of the approach with Mario Kart. I don't know why suddenly we're talking about Mario Kart specifically, but because of the approach of Mario Kart being very family oriented and it being very focused on not making anyone feel like they're missing out, those that in a lower position, so like the ones at the 8th position or whatever, they're gonna get, at least now, like in the most recent iterations. I haven't played the one for the Switch 2. Potentially I never will. I don't know. But Pocopia is trying to win me over. But they're trying to give like better power-ups to lower position players. So like if you are like, you know, you worked your ass to be the best fucking Mario Kart player and you're in the front and then suddenly gets the fucking blue shell, it's like, okay.
I think that's always been the case with this. It's almost like a rubber banding system built into multiplayer, which in a way is ingenious. And I agree, this is probably because this is meant to be a family game and you don't want
it's for a little
the younger
child,
kid to be left out.
It's for a little child to not go, yeah, I always lose. Fuck you, Dad. You know, when you're playing with them and then throwing a tantrum. No, you there you go, take the rocket. You know, so you shut up.
But just to go back to your question, I think the multiplayer experiences I had locally, with the exception of perhaps Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or those kinds of like beat 'em ups where you had co-op, were off-putting to me because I didn't really enjoy those games. And usually there would be the kid who had the console and the game was better than everyone else, and you'd visit having played the game only 3 times every time you visited them, and they would kick your ass, and that was quite like, this is not fun.
So yeah, I would do that to friends of mine that would come over, and I knew the games that we were playing, and we were playing multiplayer, and I would kick their ass. And I knew that it was uneven, but I would use it to just piss them off because I was a little agitator as a child. It was very funny.
Yeah, the other side was that the thing that really attracted me to video games was exploring worlds and exploring stories and narratives.
Yeah.
Apart from like racing games, so that was just living out a fantasy that I've had since I was a kid. And not having a PC, not playing PC games, I think limited me in that respect, because perhaps there were games on the PC much earlier than on consoles that did this stuff, multiplayer. But also internet was not accessible much.
Yeah, no, I did not have internet until much later in my life.
Yeah.
Like much later. I think I was like 12 when we got internet, honestly, or something. And I was in a more remote place than you as well, so.
Yeah, but like also you're like eight years younger than me, so there was vastly different internet during our teenage years. Like I got my first PC when I was 18, and that was the time when I had dial-up still, so you couldn't rely on playing something multiplayer when someone could pick up the phone and drop you, basically. Mom,
I'm playing my video game.
But like continuing from that, the 360 was really where I started dabbling online. But again, a lot of it was competitive.
Yeah.
Like shooters coming, I guess the pedigree from PC then started going into consoles with Halo on the first Xbox. And then the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and all that. I had a couple of friends who were playing Counter-Strike a lot. I had a couple of friends who were playing Diablo. I don't know. I was playing games a lot to kind of immerse myself in narratives and other worlds, and that was kind of pulling me out of it. I think that was mainly it. Although I have a couple of highlights from later on, but we will get to that as we start to explore our, like, the stuff we have played and how they've worked for us and perhaps what hasn't. Why have you been mostly a single player gamer?
Well, first, I don't like people, like almost at all. I like to experience what I can experience by myself a lot of the time. But also, I had some really shitty experiences online when I first dabbled into online games. So like when I first got a PC that was like good enough to play games and go online and play online or whatever, like I would try. I tried first like Team Fortress 2, I think.
Okay.
And the thing with when I was playing the game was chat was on the whole time, so you could hear everyone like screaming or whatever, and it was like sensory overload a lot of the time for me. But also like if you were losing, the people online were like, "Oh, haha, fuck you, loser." If you were winning, the people were like, "Oh, fuck you, cheater." So whatever you did, you could not win. and the discourse was really, really toxic, and I did not enjoy it at all. So PvP games very quickly became something that I just did not want to touch. I eventually went into PvE more co-op online experiences, and that's where things were changed a little bit for me. But it's that people online are as unstable, and it's unpredictable what kind of person you're gonna run out when, and who's gonna try to take a shit on what you're trying to do in the moment, or like swear at you and everything. And I don't have this competitive nature in me to go and be like this with other people as well. So it's always been a deterring factor when it comes to online games, that I just don't want to interact with people that way.
Yeah, it's been an interesting early, I guess, the 360 era of online gaming, and open mic lobbies was something. And it wasn't just that. It was like you would also get messages after.
Oh yeah, also yeah, forgot that.
And it's funny because I've seen some people kind of almost be nostalgic about that era, and I think the people who fared better through that were the people who weren't taking any of this seriously and were seeing this as kind of taking the piss instead of being real.
Yeah, there were a lot of deliberate trolls for sure out there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
When eventually I just became a troll for a little bit, I could have had fun doing it, but it never was a fulfilling experience. I never like was something that gave me a lot of joy.
No, and also it doesn't answer the question of how is this meaningful, and like, okay, you do this and you take the piss a bit and ha 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 and you troll. I have a friend who was a little bit like this, who would like not be kind of offensive towards people, but would kind of almost troll joke, goad them. But yeah, like even him, at some point he was playing Forza and ended up giving up playing Forza multiplayer because he was getting so much abuse by people who were just really losing their shit because, I don't know, you touched them while you were overtaking them, and then they just go on a like 5-minute tirade about it. And it's like, man, like maybe you should go to therapy instead of play video games at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's some really unstable people online, and I'm not someone that loves conflict. I don't like it. I don't want to agitate people, especially anymore. I'm no longer a teenager that looks for this dopamine of the the reaction, the adrenaline of like pissing someone off and see them lose their shit at you. I don't have that anymore in me. And when I was a kid, I had it, and you do prank calls and shit, and you find that extremely funny or whatever, but it's just not in me anymore. And when I realized that's the case, online games just became so unappealing in a way.
But then these were a specific kind of multiplayer competitive games. There were the more cooperative ones that also had PvE. Those could have been interesting. Like a lot of MMOs of the time, like, I don't know, World of Warcraft had PvE in it, and raids and stuff like that. But that never even appealed to me. So I didn't even see that side. Like, so the only side I saw was, this game has a multiplayer mode. Let's pop in and see what it's like. And then it would be like, oh no, like I kind of suck. and everyone tells me that I suck. That's not fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the moment we move to PvE, like, again, the reaction you get, like, when you're new is that everyone tells you suck constantly, and it's like, okay, yeah, but have you seen my level? I'm like, I literally just picked up the game, learning. You are like 3,000 levels ahead of me. Like, why is this like an issue here? But there is this lack of empathy online.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. I'm not saying it's all the time. A lot of the time.
I mean, they're the louder ones, and those are the ones that also stay with us because that's just human psychology. The bad stuff sticks out more than the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a type of video game that, under the right conditions, to me is preferable multiplayer. Like, and this might be very specific to me compared to you, but racing games, after a certain point, almost seem a little bit pointless to play single player unless they're time trial style.
I can see that.
Because if you're in a server or if you're in a type of game where people try to play respectfully, that's way more enjoyable because you're actually racing other people who behave like people. There's unpredictability. There's also some kind of satisfaction when you're competing with other human beings instead of like computer-controlled cars.
Yeah, I guess.
But I think ultimately, for me, a lot of the what's missing from drawing me into these experiences is that I don't get much enjoyment out of playing with strangers most of the time. There was a very short period in my life where me and enough of my friends had enough time and we all had the same console and we would play stuff together, even competitively, like the leaderboards, even on stuff that is not direct multiplayer, but is like this connected type of video game where you're doing runs and then your time goes on a leaderboard and you can compare with your friends. That kind of thing for me was huge fun. Like playing trials, playing Drive Club, like doing audio surf runs on the same songs, for example, and comparing our scores, stuff like that.
Yes. I mean, I think the first thing we can bring up here is the moment when we just became friends and started playing Mortal Kombat. Like that became instantly, how's it called? Like interesting because like we were like butting heads, but it was not in a mean-spirited way. Neither of us was particularly butthurt when they were getting, beaten or whatever. Like, and it was just let's see how much I can push this. Let's see how much I can learn here and everything. And that was fun. Like I found that fun. When you play with friends, like the lack of predictability and instability of the crowd that you're with just goes away out of the window. It's a safe space.
Yes.
In a kind of circle that's rarely a safe space, honestly.
I think that's the nail, and you've just hit it on the head. Like, play to work needs to be in safe conditions. Otherwise, you're not playing.
Yeah.
You're trying to survive. It's stressful. So, yeah, So, I guess that's it. Oh, I should also mention that for a while in my life, I was very socially anxious. So even the idea of like going into a lobby in a racing game, like made me feel anxious.
And
it did kind of help me through it, like to slowly expose myself to the mob. That is the online and the real world. Like I remember one of the first few times I played something on the 360, I was feeling quite nervous going into a multiplayer mode, and I knew that there was no real risk there, but I don't know, that kind of exposure at the time was quite hard for me, but I did find that helpful. So in a way that has been meaningful to me, the being able to do that with a lot of the barrier in the middle of, it's not an open lobby, we're just racing in a track. It's not direct competition where we're just killing each other. It seemed a little bit like an onboarding ramp that then opened up racing games a bit more for me. Like I remember playing Blur a lot, and we were going into lobbies with a friend of mine, and the rest of them were randoms, and we didn't know them. So it wasn't, fully connected stuff, but it was still, there's another person on the other side doing what you're doing, and that feels different.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think most gamers out there are actually socially anxious like we are. Like, when I play games, like, it's mostly with people that are kind of similar with me, like, kind of like that struggle a bit socially, that are a bit like closed in and everything. So it's not like we're not going to be interacting with people that have the similar thing. It's just that the one bad interaction might throw us off, like me and you specifically, because we're like, fuck this shit. But at the same time, I think it has helped us, because think that at this point we are making a podcast and sending it out to people, like exposing ourselves to this, like potentially to this audience that before have like called us losers and everything else or whatever online.
I mean, we've done live streams as well. That is even more stressful and scary than this.
It's scary. I put my face on a live stream. I never thought I would actually do that.
Because this is controlled. We're recording something, we're editing, we're producing it. There's predictability, like a lot of the unpredictability is out of it. But like doing live content, I could never have imagined myself or ourselves both doing that back when I was being nervous about going into a pure lobby. Was it pure?
Pure?
Yeah, it was a racing game on the 360 with like buggies. Pure. But I can understand, like, on some level, like, humans have this innate need to feel connected and to feel related, like a sense of relatedness to each other. So I can understand why, for a lot of people, like massively multiplayer online games specifically would carry a lot of meaning and a lot of importance in their life. It's interesting that we've not gravitated towards it, and the kinds of experiences I personally have had online that have stuck with me as something maybe profound. I will use profound for a couple of experiences, and I'll mention them. I think I've briefly mentioned them before in the podcast. Have been games that are quite solitary in their multiplayer as well, like Journey.
Yeah, I was expecting exactly that.
Yeah,
Journey works for me. But it's extremely minimal. It does not give you a lot of communication tools. You don't have to do much. You just need to go through it together. So, in a way, I believe that you put your own experience and meaning.
Come on, babies, today. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's terrible today.
It's okay. There'll be some knocks in the
if
the
you hear
recording.
knocks, it's Pepe's knocking the microphone. Today, he's just an asshole.
Because it's funny how he jumps up on your lap and then he needs to rub his entire body on the microphone.
Yeah, he just cannot avoid it. So as I said, Journey is like a very limited experience. So that's it.
Yeah, I think there's something there to be said though about the design of the game and perhaps what kind of online play it perhaps fosters or cultivates. There are intentions and there are meanings communicated through game design, like the way Journey is designed to work as a multiplayer game. It gives you certain tools in order to promote a cooperative, supportive play. So the types of people it might attract, and the types of things that it might nudge people towards doing, like in terms of priming their behavior, can be very different from something like Call of Duty.
That's what I was going to draw the comparison there as well. Like, in Call of Duty, I expect people to be a little bit more aggressive, and I don't expect them to these people to gravitate that much towards Journey, at least not the majority of them. I know a lot of people that, play all kinds of games and like Journey and Call of Duty and stuff at the same time, but it's a minority. It's just the kind of crowd and where you end up that it can inform as well the situation. As you said, like in Journey, where you get people that will show you around or be by your side when you're going through this like arduous journey, that creates like a sense of like companionship and
yeah,
like a weird bond, let's say, that is interesting. And it's already an emotional experience as it is, the game itself. So going through it with someone else can elevate it. Like now, when I replay Journey, because it's something that's short and I do it like often, and we did it for the podcast and probably we'll do it again in a few months or whatever. I don't play it solo anymore. I always play it online. And there's always people online, which is great.
It's amazing, yeah. Although I will say that sometimes this can have, like, depending on if you've accidentally been matched up with someone who just wants to go through the game, or they don't realize how it works. If it's your first time playing the game, it can kind of ruin it a little bit for you. Like the first time my partner tried to play Journey, like she went in and someone else was just rushing ahead and solving everything really quickly and moving on. And she didn't have the time to even look around and try to figure it out by herself. And she was like, no, this fucking sucks. And I'm like, oh, it does.
Yeah, it can be a roll of the dice. Truth is, but I don't know.
So it takes a little bit of luck, I suppose, which, yeah, almost to an extent that it then made me reluctant to recommend this game as a first playthrough at this point to someone online. But because if they come across something like this, it does kind of ruin it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because it takes a little bit of almost social intelligence at that point to communicate through, which I guess is the magic of Journey, to communicate through gestures and just subtle movements. And I liked there's certain direction choices, both in this and I think as well. Was it Dark Souls the first? No, was it Demon Souls who like disabled the party chat on the console?
I know the Demon Souls did disable it. I don't know if it was the first one.
Okay. Because they wanted players to communicate through the tools that the game had. Yeah. So that even that kind of game, for example, is very different in how it's experienced if you're playing online versus playing on your own. Again, through the tools that the game gives you and how it directs you and how it almost encourages a certain kind of play. So there's the game breeds the community in a certain way, I think.
I think I agree, and you also move towards the direction that I would go as well by saying Demon Souls, because I think the game that I have played online the most is Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Elden Ring. Like this is where I was massively online, and it shows, I guess, what kind of online gamer I am, which is cooperative, because one of my favorite things to do in those games is after I beat like some bosses, I start going online and supporting other players going through them to especially the ones that I see that I struggled the most. I'm like, okay, this is where I'm gonna put my sign down and help as many people as I can, and I love that. I loved that. Like when I first played Dark Souls and I really fucking struggled at Ornstein and Smaug. Like I put Ornstein and Smaug, for those who have never played Dark Souls, is the first double boss of Dark Souls. It is very difficult for new players. It is like infamous for how some people have struggled with it.
I think that's the point where most people who have dropped out of Dark Souls have dropped out of Dark Souls, including me.
and Ornstein Smaug. It is a very hard way to the boss fight and a very hard boss fight. So that was my favorite bit, like putting my sign down and helping people ward off invaders and go through the boss fight in Anor Londo. Yeah,
and I like how there's like, I don't remember what they're called. They're not factions, right? What are they?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Covens? No, it's not covens.
Covenants.
Yes, covenants.
Covenants. Where you can join a covenant where your job is basically to hunt down the sinners, which are the invaders, right? Isn't that how it works? Because my experience with Anor Londo and why I gave up was that I was trying to stay in the state where I could invite people to help me.
Mm-hmm.
But what I kept getting was invaders between the bonfire in Anor Londo and that boss fight continuously. And it seemed like such a dick move at that point that I'm like, well, fuck this game and fuck the people who play it. I was so fucking upset at the time.
Yeah, I understand it. It's a very hard run to there.
It's a very hard run, and it seems like some people just go intentionally go and invade at that point just to fuck people over.
Yes, but when there was one time basically that one guy just joined me and helped me through the whole thing, helped me with the invaders, but it not like it wasn't one of those like, you know, one person with a silly helmet in their underwear and a bat going through and like beating everything for you.
Let me solo her for you.
We'll have those names. It wasn't that. It was like a person that was just playing the game and was there to be like, you know what, I'm here to fucking help. And they just like stuck through, were patient when I was discovering new stuff, helped me through the boss fight. Like that was the moment that I was like, aha, you're doing something there. Because you can have like a shit ton of trolls that are basically destroying the experience for you, but it takes one person that's committed to actually like help people to make a huge difference. And it just really clicked. It just really clicked in that moment. And I always played those games a lot online. I don't invade much. I don't like invading as much. I like helping people. And in all of the future games, it always like worked like this for me. It's just that in Dark Souls... Are you done? It's just that in Dark Souls, in that moment, it was the most profound, let's say, as you say a lot of the time, experience, like the most noteworthy one. He dropped my phone to the floor. So yeah, I loved playing Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3.
So yeah, that's the kind of experience that I was wondering about, like the kind of experience that is inspiring.
Yeah.
And changing.
I think it also comes to what Dark Souls is as a game and what it means to me specifically, because Dark Souls as a concept or as a general meaning is a message to those who struggle to overcome things. It's a game that is massively indifferent to your existence. It's cruel and very much resembles, you know, life as you go through it. And I think to me and to many other people online that have talked about how Dark Souls helped them through depression or anything, it is very much like in the end stands as a message of strength towards difficult times. And to be able to go through something that is challenging and hard with someone else, it's just such a huge message to a lot of gamers like us who tend to be like solitary, to withdraw, to not be too social. It might make a very, very huge difference to just show, you know what, there is a lot of strength in solidarity. You can get a lot of strength from it, and it's just showing it in a very basic gameplay mechanic. And while I know it's extremely cruel in Anor Londo, that I feel like for first timers it was made to be like this. Now I can go in there and it's not a challenge anymore because I know the tricks and everything to just ward off anyone and go through the whole thing without an issue. But when I first got in and like, you know, was all like the newbie that did not know what was going on, it was just extremely poignant and I loved it. It was like, that was I think the most meaningful online experience that I have had so far in my life.
So the values that the game has are important, is what I'm hearing.
Yes. I mean, I don't think that for everyone Dark Souls means this, because I don't think everyone actually goes through times of depression and mental health issues and everything. Something and has the chance to at the same time play this video game that very much resembles a struggle. But that's the thing with whenever you experience stuff, like you can give them its own meaning. So I don't know if this is a reach, if I'm just reaching towards a meaning in Dark Souls, or if there's something there, but it's there. And Dark Souls was informative, very informative for myself for when I was going through things like this, and the fact that it showed me how this challenging time can become easier with co-op. It was also like informative in life situations in a similar way that my favorite movie of all time that you hate gave me the same.
Which one is that?
You Hate Her.
Oh, all right. Yes, I do.
You do.
With a passion.
Yeah, that movie also gave me the same message of like, if you struggle, like reach out to people. Like it's the best solution. So yeah.
I'm inclined to say that you're not really reaching. There's a lot of people who have interpreted Dark Souls in this way, and I don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah, no, and I know that Writing on Games has a fantastic video essay on this. So I know that it's not just me, and I know that Miyazaki himself has spoken a little bit about mental health struggles and everything. So I'm pretty sure that there's something being channeled into his work. And you know, a lot of other people that have worked with him's work. You know, Japan is a very well-known place for depression.
Yeah, there's in terms of like name dropping other creators. There's a video from Viva la Dirt League on like getting good and how this can be read differently than a dismissive attitude. But looking at what the game really gives you and what it encourages in terms of how to play, the idea of get good is also like it includes the help, like get help from others and keep trying. Like you can do this.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I do feel that it became a dismissive kind of gatekeeping thing. And I don't like where it eventually went to, but I never stopped having those experiences with the games from FromSoft.
I mean, like every thing that humans do, there are people who become gatekeepy about it. So I'm not surprised that something like that became that, and it's. Yeah, anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters, I think, like for me, I didn't play Dark Souls a lot, but I played Bloodborne, and the moments where I got help from others for bosses, and we both went through this, that was heartwarming, and it stuck with me as one of the best online multiplayer experiences ever in games. I was never good enough in these games to go and help others, so I'm just hugely appreciative of the random people who helped me. Yeah.
To the point that I found the strength to be the troll that stops people as well, and I did it a bit. It wasn't as fulfilling, but I always felt like you in these games you need these challenges to get it in a way. So it always had this like extra depth compared to other multiplayer experiences, you know?
Yeah, and that is part of that world anyway. Like there are NPCs who behave in that way, so it's not.
Yeah, there's those NPCs that really want you to make it, and they're very warm and
it's
friendly. It kind of resembles, you know, life.
Yeah, and it's a matter then of where do you focus, what do you linger on instead of.
There was another game that we both have played quite a bit online. You more than me.
I think I know where you're getting at.
Potentially you do. And we were not very good at it, but we did play it a lot, and I want to find out why did that work.
Are we talking about Factions?
We're talking about Factions.
Yes. Factions is such a unique multiplayer mode because it's slow and methodical and needs patience. And that fit my playstyle way, way more than anything else PvP I've played of this kind. And it also allowed flexibility in how you played, where I wasn't very good at the shooty, but I could be a very important part of my team as a medic. And a good medic who supports his team can make a huge difference in that game. That was the thing that made it for me. Like every time I tried, just as a challenge to myself, all right, I'm gonna play a more aggressive build here, and I wouldn't enjoy it as much. And I'd be like, why? Like, stop doing that. Just play the thing that you're good at, and you're like you can contribute. I think it was a part of, I don't know, completionist perhaps part of me that was going, oh yeah, but I'm not using all this other stuff. So I would occasionally get through that cycle. The thing that made that game very challenging, and I think we kind of bounced off when we tried to play it together, was because it just didn't have matchmaking. So at the time when we went in together, it was quite late in its lifetime, and the people who were playing, most of them were really good at it.
Yeah, a lot of people stuck with it through to the end. I don't think there's an end yet. It's still live, right?
No, it's still on the PS4. It's still up and running. The PS3 shut down at some point. That was the first and only time I've been part of a server shutdown until the very, very end, where we were just kicked out because it seemed like such a, I don't know. There was there was such a strong sense of belonging in that. During that period of, we're here for the last 12 hours of this fucking game, we're gonna play until we're kicked off.
Yeah. Also, you played so many hours of that game, honestly.
Yeah, probably 200 hours plus.
Yeah. I don't think I played 200 hours plus, maybe 100, but still, like, I remember that when I moved to this house that I am right now, and I've returned to The Last of Us before the second one came out, and whole other chapter opened in the whole thing, but whatever. Like, I remember that I got very into it, and I made like more aggressive builds, and I started like getting better at aiming and shooting and stuff. And yeah, I enjoyed it, and there was like always a thrill in it, and I never had negative experiences, probably because again the chat and everything was a bit off, so you could not really interact in a.
I mean, you could easily the first thing I did going in was mute everyone, because I didn't want to listen to anyone.
Muted everyone. One time I didn't mute someone, and could hear there was someone that was not moving, and they had like the microphone on, and their mom came in and started screaming at them because they hadn't cleaned up the room. And I was just sitting there looking at an idle player with a microphone on top and hearing like them fighting with their mom.
See, it's a shame though, because occasionally I would forget to mute, and occasionally there would be someone who would actually communicate well and in a positive way, and that would change everything. Like, it's the assholes that ruin it for everyone else.
I don't think that they were an asshole. I just thought they were a bit maladapted.
No, don't refer to that one. That is just that's just sad.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Everyone mute. I don't care. I don't want to hear.
Yeah. So I guess the thing that drew us both to this one, even though it's PvP, is that it's a very, very different style of game.
Yeah.
And nothing else exists like this.
Yeah, not a lot. We played quite a bit of Uncharted 4 multiplayer. But it did not have the same feel.
No, that one is very much like
fast
jumping around and shooting things. They had a horde mode that I played a lot because that seemed more fun to me. Like a PvE where you're just a team and there's waves of enemies. Like I had tried those things in Gears as well, but Gears would get so difficult that if you weren't a full team of people who are fully communicating and really good at it, and have figured out the best way to kind of build your base, like you get destroyed after a certain point. Like Gears is a hardcore game when you start playing it seriously, even on PvE. We also had that shortish foray into Elder Scrolls Online.
You did, yeah. Yours were short. Mine wasn't.
Mine was short, yeah. Because I got it first, wanting to basically, because my fantasy with Elder Scrolls was, oh man, this would be awesome to also be able to play it co-op with a friend. And Elder Scrolls Online came out. Initially, it was a bit rough, but then it got a lot better. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get this. Worst case, I play it solo. Best case, you play it with me. And we played together a little bit. And then I started getting bored of it, I think.
Yeah. It is I don't remember a lot about the game because I haven't delved since, but it's a repetitive game. It's not very involved, and compared to like how Skyrim was, that has like this like grand exploration, that's just not there. But yeah, you bounced off, but I persisted for quite a bit. I stayed in.
Why?
I'm not sure. I think shortly after you left, basically I just was like, okay, let me see what else I can do. I had subscribed to the pass basically.
Oh,
and I was like, okay, let me finish the month and see what else I can get out of it before I stop paying for it. And I joined a guild. It was the first time I properly joined a guild. And in the beginning, it was quite great. I actually started meeting friends from in there. With one of the people from that guild, I still talk occasionally. Like I made an actual friend, you know?
See, that's the stuff that I read about. And I'm like, I have never met anyone in my life who has done this. So you have.
Yeah, so...
This is fascinating.
Yeah, like we met, had coffee, or went to the city that they were from and everything, and... we haven't talked in a while now, but yeah, we had like a very good relationship for a while, and we were just chatting. It was like a proper friendship. It was good. But the problem was that, as I said before, people ruin everything. And eventually...
Some people.
Yeah, and eventually like infighting started, and like the guild heads like started like trying to claim control from each other and like blocked or like restricted access to the other person, and they were putting mean messages in the boards of the guild. And while I was there like to play, I was just seeing toxic fighting between people, and I just naturally just bounced off because I was like, I'm not here for this. And if like the one guild that I joined and I enjoyed a bit got ruined, I'm not gonna go and join another one trying to find the same. Just there's no point. I'm out. So that was my not so short time in Elder Scrolls Online, but
because you've put like more than 100 hours into it.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it was quite more than 100 hours.
Okay.
And there were like 40 or 50 very good hours in there that I was like regularly going online, like in specific times, and I was meeting people that we knew each other, and we were just making the teams, and I made a character that they needed to like be more cooperative and help them up a lot, and that was great. Like it felt like you were creating something special, and then they fucked it. And that friend that told you like had to leave because they were being fucking mean to them, and eventually like I bounced off as well because like without the one person that had the best relationship in there with, like there was no point for me sticking around, so I just left as well.
Yeah, that's a shame. Although, yeah, sounds like stuff that happens in not just in virtual groups.
Pretty much. But that was like the closest I got to like becoming like a proper MMO head.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing, like it was not about the game in that moment. The game was just an excuse for me to meet up with people.
Yeah, which I suppose at that point, like I can understand how a lot of people would put a lot of hours into stuff like Destiny and other live service games because they become like a virtual hangout space.
Yeah, which I get.
It's the game
like,
secondary.
Which I get. Like there has been times that we just go online and we play together just to chat without the real attraction to the game itself. Like we're doing our co-op streams a lot of the time just to hang out, not because we care about the game that much.
Playing Resident Evil 5 again, or fucking Fucking Anthem.
Yeah, the fucking Anthem was a whole different thing.
Speaking of fucking Anthem, the multiplayer mode of Mass Effect 3 is the other multiplayer game, quote unquote, that I've spent, I think, hundreds of hours in. I don't know hundreds, but a lot, like comparatively
you were
to factions.
playing it quite a bit. I just don't even remember what it was. Was it PvE?
Yeah, it's all PvE. It's like Horde mode.
Okay.
10 waves.
So again, no PvP. Like we are very PvE oriented, both of us. And even the PvPs that we do is not 1 versus 1 or 1 versus like all versus all. It's all like team versus team or whatever. There's always like...
It's team versus team. Surprisingly, in this, I think this will go up soon enough for that to be somewhat of a current comment, but I played the server slam for Marathon, and I was surprised by the fact that I enjoyed it, and I'm like, what's happening? Is this a good thing for the game, or is this both really bad if I'm enjoying this?
Assume that I'm clueless because I am, because I have not shown any interest in Marathon. How does Marathon work?
So it's an extraction shooter, if that means anything to you. You are part of a 3-player team.
Okay, 3 players.
And you go into a map with... So you loot the place, and eventually you extract. If you die, you lose all your gear and all the stuff that you've looted. So within that map, there is another opposing team of 3 players, and there's bots as well, bot enemies. You basically search and loot. If you come across each other, a firefight might ensue or whatever, but the point, I suppose, is to make it out of it so that you get all your loot with you. And then you can either sell it or upgrade it or stuff like that, and that's kind of how it works. It has lore. They have actually written a story for this. And it doesn't have cutscenes, but it has like the vendors with whom you kind of interact. They have story bits to them. You get contracts that have story bits to them. So I was surprised by how much they've written for this, considering this is coming from the people who made Destiny.
I mean, they've written a lot for Destiny too. It's just how they presented it.
They have, that's true.
Just not engaging to us.
It was very messy. Yes, it was very messy.
Yeah, I don't know if eventually Destiny got to a point that it was presentable story-wise, but when I played the first one at the stage that it was, which was at the Peter Dinklage days, I could not get into it.
I think depends on which version of the game you played. Yeah, but for both games, because 2 initially I think was made so that it would continue from 1, but then they took entire bits of the campaign out, and then the onboarding became terrible, and then they put some stuff back in. I don't remember exactly because I've not really followed it because I'm not a Destiny player.
Being terrible from the first one.
The onboarding was terrible. I will say that the onboarding in Marathon at the beginning is kind of a little bit of an informational overload, but it took me about half an hour to kind of familiarize myself with what was happening. And I had some decent interactions with teammates, like where they would kind of help. There was one game that we managed to, I think, extract where we had both, because you can run out of ammo.
Yeah, okay.
And you have to find ammo stuff, otherwise, and it's not everywhere. And one of our teammates died, and I was trying to loot him because I had run out of ammo completely, and we had run into enemies. And the other guy in my team was trying to cover for me. I was playing a medic, so I was trying to keep him alive, for him to cover me, to go and loot the corpse of our teammate who had died to get the ammo, so we continue towards the extraction point. And I'm like, this is fun. This is weird. To the point that I even considered, should I get this? Should I try to talk you into getting this? I don't know.
No.
So I think because it has a strong PvE element and exploration, I think it it clicked a bit, and also it plays really well.
Oh yeah, I bet it plays well. It's the Destiny guys, like they know how to make a game to play well.
But PvE is where I'd gravitate towards, and then if it's competitive, it's very rare, and it tends to be mostly towards racing games, and I prefer asynchronous competition in that sense, like leaderboards rather than...
Yeah, on a personal level, I think what I'd really look forward to as online or co-op experiences are more close to like co-op campaigns, like we try to find.
Yeah.
Like one game that seems to be scratching a lot of itches that I have with this kind of games, and it's coming out soon, so I would really like to try this with you. It's called A Big Walk, and I've showed you a trailer for it, and it seems like it's more cooperating with communications to like solve puzzles or explore. Peak also seems to be one of them, one of the games that like really itches that cooperation kind of like experience compared to, you know, the more I grow up, the less I am attracted to games with a lot of guns.
Oh yeah,
and hence why like I'm not interested in Marathon. I've never been interested in your Call of Duties. I know that I tried like Counter-Strike, and it just did not work for me.
Titanfall was actually fun for me.
I liked a lot of Titanfall. Yes, like the loop of the game and the feel of the game was great, but again,
it's guns.
It's guns, and yeah, I don't know.
When it's swords, though.
It's weird for me to be a fantasy mage thing that throws fireballs, and different for me to hold a gun at a time like now, you know?
I suppose it's easier to disengage and ignore the problematic aspect of this is just warfare. It's a different type of warfare. We're just more removed from it, and it doesn't map exactly to like real life in the way that something like Call of Duty or Battlefield might.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. I mean, I still want to try Hellriders with you.
Me too. I think so. Going back to Marathon weirdly because it's recent, but this has also been on my mind to trying to understand why did I click with this more than like other shooty things. It's the way it's present itself. First of all, visually, I know you don't like it, but I think you don't like it. But it's so colorful in a way that seems like audacious. Like such bold color choices, but also you are not actual humans. You're like consciousnesses within mech bodies or like android bodies. So when you get killed, so to speak, you don't die. It's like your frame dies, and then your consciousness gets pinged back to the server, and then it gets uploaded to another frame of some. Like I'm saying frame, but it's not Warframe. Anyway, I don't remember the names. I just played an hour and a half or something. So I think the presentation makes it more palatable for me, even though it's guns versus I'm shooting humans.
Yeah, I think you like with these things, and I think that's why Titanfall worked, is that you need to have something that removes you from like from grounded reality.
Yeah,
like as I said, like we're currently at a time that like guns are doing real fucking damage. I don't want to.
I don't want. I don't want to play. I never really wanted this. Like even back when like Modern Warfare was new, I remember playing it as a single player thing. It was visually and technologically impressive, but it was so fucking off-putting on every other level. Like I felt dirty.
Yeah, and
I felt like I need a shower after playing it.
And that's the thing, is like the difference I think that comes with these games between films and this is that I feel almost that in movies you almost can never make a war movie that's not anti-war. Because it never, whatever it does, no matter how much they can try to glorify it, it never feels attractive. It never feels nice or justified or anything. And that's why propaganda war movies just don't work, because it's just like, you're showing me something that's supposed to be glorious, it's just off-putting. And that's what happens with the games. They kind of follow the propaganda kind of thing. They don't follow the thriller kind of thing. They don't try to make things stressful. I know there's exceptions, but I know that those exceptions are not popular.
Yes. And even the ones who have like I don't know, half-hearted attempt at it, they undermine it immediately when the gameplay starts.
Spec Ops.
Like Gears.
Spec Ops.
I don't remember Spec Ops to talk about it. I know I liked it and you didn't, but I honestly don't remember much about the game, so I can't defend it.
I hate it. Fuck
So-
Spec Ops The Line. We might talk about it eventually. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's hard to go back and replay it because it's not
that's
on
my
modern
problem.
consoles.
I don't have a 360.
But the thing I wish, and I need to mention this game before we wrap up. In the wish I have, I think the main thing I wish was I had more friends who were into racing games to asynchronously compete with each other, like leaderboards and times. Because I don't care to like leaderboard, like global leaderboards are pointless to me, like meaningless, because there's so many so good people out there that you're never gonna get anywhere near somewhere that it makes any sense.
Not even close.
Yeah, like there was a time when I was playing Trackmania a lot, and I was I'm like, all right, how, like, I need to find some kind of way to have a goal here for improvement, because no one else I know plays Trackmania. And I'm like, okay, Scotland is a small country. I'm going to try to get a goal of, I don't know, getting into perhaps some top, I don't know, 200 in Scotland. I managed it in, I don't know, perhaps a handful of tracks occasionally. But it's still not meaningful enough because I don't know anyone of these people. It's different back when I was playing Trials, and I think I had 5 friends who were playing Trials, and it was all our names on the thing, or Drive Club. It was like, ha, and then we'll have some laugh about it. Like that seemed way more fun to me. That we're sharing the space, not at the same time, but we're doing this together in some way. There's some level of connection in there.
So basically, in order for us, in our experience, and players that have the same kind of behavior that we do, in order to have an online experience that resonates with you, there needs to be relative safety. So you need to have like a space that you're not going to be shouted at.
Yeah.
Familiarity, so the people that you are with in there, you have something that connects you with each other, either if you're competing against them or not. And context.
Yes.
So what is it that we're doing together? Is that accurate, you would say?
I think so. And what I think the values of the game, how they are reflected in what play it encourages, play a big role here when it's not people that you know, in terms of like fostering a sense of safety in the space. And this is more on a different kind of level, but if there's a lot of pay to win mechanics, then I kind of bounce off and I'm out, because at that point,
I don't like microtransactions in general, and that's a completely new discussion. And a lot of these games just tend to have that in as a standard now. I don't like that at all.
We're a little bit different in how much we value or care about cosmetics. Like for me, rather, I understand that on some level, from a business point of view, if you're seeing it cynically, they need to make money to keep the game running. I don't care if they monetize cosmetics, monetize away, because I don't give a fuck. When it comes to stuff that if the other person has paid more into the game, they have an advantage over me, and if I don't pay, I'm at a significant disadvantage in how I can play against them, then it becomes like, it's too close to real life at that point. The rich have an advantage, so I don't want that in my game.
Yeah, and that exists a lot of the time, unfortunately. And I have come across it with games that just are unfriendly just because I just cannot afford paying for it. So, yeah. Cool.
Rocket League is perhaps my highlight of dumb games that I've played with strangers a lot and actually have had fun, even when people throw tantrums about how you're playing because of how the chat is.
Yeah, I bounced off Rocket League for different reasons very quickly.
It's a very difficult game. Like the skill ceiling is astronomical. But it has matchmaking, so if you stay in the lower tiers, you can play against other people who are as bad at it as you are, and it can be fun.
Yeah, never got into it. So,
So the most meaningful in terms of inspirational and touching experiences, moving experiences we've had, it sounds like it's been From Software games and Journey. Then,
yeah, I would say so, and for a very good part. ESO for me, Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
But that got ruined quickly.
Would you be willing to try Fallout 76?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Like we haven't played together for a while. I think it's something that's available to us.
It is. Also, you also owe me a Destiny.
A session of Destiny.
Not a session of Destiny. We're gonna get through at least some campaign stuff in Destiny.
Look,
I sat with you for an entire playthrough of Anthem,
and that was
we even went in and did end game content.
That was a meaningful online experience. You don't need to do another one.
We do.
No,
that was a deal.
No, was that one session?
Nope.
You changed it.
It's on record. I have the VODs.
You are lying. I don't believe you. I'm gonna gaslight you until you give up.
I'm never giving up. We need to race in Destiny. It can't be worse than Anthem, dude. There's no way.
I'm not playing it, and that's final.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it cannot be worse. But that's the thing with games. Either I go for the exceptionally terrible ones or the exceptionally good ones. I don't like the in between, and I feel Destiny's in the in between.
We played too much mid Resident Evil, and I don't know, Evil West for that statement to be true.
I would say that they're exceptionally bad. Both the Resi games we played, the 1.5 Resi game we played online, and Evil West. It was the
Evil West not exceptionally bad.
Context-wise, it was so bad that it was interesting.
Yes, okay, but as games, Evil West is a pretty decent, like, mid-tier, B-tier game.
Yeah, but one of the aspects was bad in a fun way, then I liked it.
Okay. Well, Destiny is exceptional in its actual play feel.
Yeah, okay, play feel, but it makes me feel like I'm getting an aneurysm the moment I step into the fucking game because that doesn't know how to throw information at me.
Okay, I can guide you through it.
Okay,
I'm talking as if I'm some veteran Destiny player here. I've not really played Destiny 2. I've tried it once with a friend during the early lockdown period in 2020, and we kind of got bored and stopped.
Sounds like a great game.
It's just funny to me how much you express a dislike to it, and I need to get even with you for for agreeing to play so much Anthem.
You're talking to me about me making you go through Anthem as if I enjoyed it. That was not.
I know you didn't.
That was not. Me having fun or anything. That was for science. That was for knowledge. That was for historical artifact recording, cataloging, informational, important research.
Okay, so what was exceptionally bad about Anthem?
Everything.
Okay. One of the big parts or the big things that was exceptionally bad about Anthem was that how bad it was at presenting its world to you and its lore and anything about its story. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
And the gameplay and the mission. And the UI.
The reason I'm mentioning that specifically is because, as we have known from experience when we tried it years ago, several years ago, Destiny 2 was also exceptionally bad at doing that. I want to do a comparison.
Cool. I'll do it for your science, but I don't agree with it, and not all science is good science. I know it's paradoxical that I was so willing to play Anthem, and I'm like throwing such a fucking tantrum to play Destiny, but
I want you to remember this when you go and play for science Veilguard.
I never had a particular draw to play much of it. I want to dip in, be like, cool, that's bad, and then just dip out. And I'll make a character that looks like shit, and they're gonna be called, I don't know, Anal Eruption or something.
Bobak Bob.
Bobag Joe.
It's Bobak Bob's cousin. Right. This bit has gone long enough. So thank you everyone for listening. If you have any meaningful experience to share about like playing multiplayer stuff online, if you have stuff to share about games that we don't play and we don't understand, but there's something there interesting to explore, please let us know. That's I'm always like I've had occasionally friends who were really into stuff like WoW and like hardcore role playing, which I know some people now do in like GTA servers. That seems interesting and not something I would do because it takes, I don't know, like there are limitations in there that don't exist in tabletop RPGs, and I just prefer to do the tabletop RPGs, but I find it fascinating that some people would go and do actual hardcore roleplay in those servers. So I'm curious about that stuff. But neither of us plays this shit, so it's hard to explore it.
I played a bit of GTA 5, and it's like, it's like asking for trouble. It's like exactly the opposite of what I said about trying not to be around trolls and everything. If you play GTA Online, you are going for the trolling, and I just deny yo. No.
I've been tempted by that game multiple times because it has this like extensive racing modes.
I mean, it looks wild enough to be attractive, but
yeah, I know. But then, in terms of like vibes I'm getting from the game, it's really off-putting.
Yeah. And also Rockstar right now is very
That's Rockstar, yeah. Right, thank you everyone for listening. Send us your thoughts and your comments and shit, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with something fascinating. I don't know what it is, don't remember.
Fascinating, I remember what it is. And let's say the podcast is gonna take a turn for the worst.
Is it? Well, we'll engage in our compulsive side after the next episode. It's going to be very fun for everyone.
Who knows? Probably not. Okay, bye.
I don't know how to exit these.
And then they lived happily ever after. Does that work? Does that work for you?
GG's.
Gold giblets. Gold giblets?
I know how to play Ender Satman better than you.